for the vision is yet for an appointed time. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
I learned an awful lot from Mr. Rockefeller. And one of the things that we used to talk about was the ultimate plan of the banking industry, what they wanted to accomplish. And the goals of the banking industry, not just the Federal Reserve System, but the private banks in Germany and England, all over Italy, all over the world, they all work together. They're all central banks.
Central banks around the world are examining whether they should create digital currencies. China is gradually enrolling one already. Japan may launch a digital yen by 2026. India is moving ahead in this front. The Federal Reserve is on the bandwagon here, where experiments and studies are already underway. These moves to what is dubbed a central bank digital currency, CBDC, may sound like making sure financial institutions are keeping up to date. Now, advocates say CBDCs will help central banks better fight inflation because they'll have more direct control over the money supply, that it will sharply speed up transaction payments between buyers and sellers in the marketplace.
The nature of this CBDC, what is it actually going to look like? They never talk about that. Right. But I heard one European central banker tell me what it's going to look like. He saw it. He was invited to one of the old central banks in Europe that are very much promoting this, and they showed him. And he's a top executive director of another central bank in Europe, and there's no reason to believe that he was telling me a story. And it was around this large and would be implanted under your skin. So that is the plan.
And you know how credit cards now have that little contactless, right? So you don't need to swipe. You can just tap your card. You don't need to swipe, right? So now you can get that implanted in your hand.
If we were building a financial system from scratch today, we'd do it on a digital platform. Digital can lower the cost of a range of transactions by as much as 90%, providing nearly universal access to innovative financial products and services. Unfortunately, we don't have that luxury of starting from scratch. So we have to show not only the vision to plan for this better digital future, but also the wisdom to manage a secure transition from the current system. It's a big responsibility, but with more than 2.5 billion people not able to get at formal financial services, the opportunity compels us to do it.
You have to develop systems that deal with people's fragility, to give them a sense of resilience, both at an individual level and at society level and at economic level. It's one of the reasons why I support a basic income, because then you get people saying, yeah, I'm going to be able to handle a shock if it hits me, unless it's totally catastrophic, but at least within a range. So I think we've got to learn to live with uncertainty.
Let me just bring Richard back to comment on that, because completely diametrically opposed here.
Yeah. It's interesting. You come to the conclusion we need a basic income. And of course, I sympathize with this idea, which is an old idea, a century old. But why has it been favored since, well, the last, 10 years by all the billionaires, the Davos billionaire class? Why are they favoring it? Well, because they want to roll out centralization, digital ID, and digital money and CBDCs. And if you link that, it becomes a very totalitarian system. So you have to ensure that we don't have so much centralization.
Okay.
And the basic income is going to be the bribe to accept the microchip implant, I fear.
Across the millennium years is crunch time in this whole agenda, crunch time for the human race. This is the time when this network of interbreeding bloodlines wants to bring in its global fascist structure of a world government to which nation states would be administrative units. Of a world central bank and a world currency, a currency that wouldn't be cash, it would be merely electronic, for which there are fundamental implications for human freedom. And also the World Army, which is designed to be NATO, expanding and expanding as it is now, of course, to become the fully fledged World Army, World Police Force. And underpinning that little lot is designed to be a micro-efficient population, in which we are micro-efficient with our financial details, our medical details, etc., etc. And that would allow not only electronic tagging, people knowing where we are all the time, it would allow the external manipulation through this electronic means of our mental and emotional processes. This will happen